Hello children, welcome to Jairam High Secondary School online classes. This is a video from class 9 biology, unit 18 organization of tissues. I hope you all have viewed the previous parts of this video. In the previous videos, we have discussed about the classification of plant tissues and classification of animal tissues, and also we have discussed about cell division and the process of mitosis. So in this video, we'll continue with the process of meiosis. So during when we are discussing about the process of mitosis, we saw that the parent cell is divided into two daughter cells, and the two daughter cells are similar, and the two daughter cells are very much identical to that of the parent cell. There the genetic material and also the contents of the cell has been divided equally to the two daughter cells. So these type of cell division, mitosis, happens in all our body cells, that is somatic cells, such as our skin cells, muscle cells and all other cells. And in skin and muscle cells, this mitosis process happens very often, whereas in the case of liver cells, this happens whenever there is a need. Suppose when there is a transplantation of a liver, or when the cells of the liver has been damaged due to certain diseases, there only this mitosis process happens. But in some of the organs like heart, this mitosis process never happens because there is no need of cell division in heart. Heart and brain. So in organs like heart and brain, there is no need of cell division, so this mitosis process won't happen in that kind of organs. So this mitosis often happen in other kind of cells such as skin cells and our muscle cells. Since more cells are worn out easily, and the cell division is very much required for that kind of organs, so cell division, mitosis happens there. But what is meiosis? Meiosis happens only in specialized cells, only in gametic cells. So what do you mean by this gametic cells? So in human being, we have two sexes, male and female. So for the formation of a baby, for the formation of a zygote, we need the fertilization of the two different cells, one from the male and one from the female. So the male sex cell is called as the sperm, and the female sex cell is called as the ovum. So sperm and ovum fuse together to form a zygote. So this zygote is a single cell, and the zygote will undergo a set of mitotic divisions to give rise to various organs, tissues, and then a human fetus is formed, which then further develops into a human being. So for the formation of zygote, the male sex cell sperm and the female sex cell called ovum is required. So where do the sperm and ovum forms? These are formed in the reproductive system of the human beings. So male reproductive system produces the sperm cells, and the female reproductive system produces the ovum cells or egg cells. So these type of gametic cells undergo a division, specialized division called meiosis. So why this type of meiosis is happening only in gametic cells? So what is the reason? Whereas in all other parts of our body, mitosis process is happening, but whereas in gametic cells, meiosis is happening. And also mitosis is called as an equational division, since the contents of the cell has been equally shared by the two daughter cells. That is called as a equational division, whereas meiosis, it is called as a reductional division. Why it is called so? So we'll find the answer for this while at the end of this video. So why meiosis is called as a reduction division? So this kind of meiosis happens only in our gametic cells or sex cells, or otherwise germ cells. So germ cells, gametic cells and sex cells are all found in our reproductive system. So during the process of reproduction, during the process of fertilization and the formation of zygote only, this type of meiosis division happens in human beings. So coming to the topic, the term meiosis is coined by Farmer in the year 1995, and this kind of meiosis division happens in our sex cells and in our gametes, and meiosis is also called as reduction division. So we'll come to it later. And before getting into the stages involved in meiosis, we just need to know about the genetic content, that is the number of chromosomes present in the humans. In this world, each living organism has a specific genetic material, which is nothing, it is called as a gene pool. The total content of the DNA, total content of the genetic material is called as a gene pool. So based upon that, each living species has a particular set of chromosomes. So number of chromosomes vary in each living organisms. Likewise, the butterfly can have a different set of chromosomes, and the human beings can have different set of chromosomes, whereas a dog can have a different set of chromosomes. So the number of chromosomes is not same for all living organisms like in human beings, but the species which contain the same amount of chromosome. Like human beings, all the human beings, they contain 46 chromosomes, which is aligned in 23 pairs. So the alignment of chromosomes is called as karyotyping. So karyon means nucleus. So inside the nucleus the chromosomes are present, and inside the chromosome the genetic material DNA is present, which is responsible for the inheritance of characters from one generation to the another generation. So this karyotyping is the arrangement of chromosomes. So in human beings we have totally 46 chromosomes which are arranged in 23 pairs, and first 22 pairs 44 chromosomes, these are called as body chromosomes or otherwise somatic chromosomes, which determines our body characteristics like the color, texture and the formation of our body cells, which is present in the skins, muscles, etc. And this last one pair of chromosome, which are 2 in number, they are called as sex chromosomes, which determine the sex of an individual. So this 23rd pair, last pair of chromosome, these 2 chromosomes, these decides whether that zygote will be developing into a male or it will be developing into a female. Okay, so in this type of 6 chromosomes alone, this meiosis process will happens, whereas in body chromosomes mitosis process will happen, whereas in gametic cells or the germ cells this meiosis process happens. Okay, so here the chromosome number, it is 2n condition is called as a diploid condition, since it contains the 2 into n number of chromosomes. So this condition is called as a diploid, and it is be reduced to haploid. Haploid is n number of chromosomes. Okay, so 2 into 23 46. Okay, it is be reduced to 23. So here 2 into 23 46 is being reduced to 23. So haploid number 46 is reduced to 23. So 46 is 2n condition diploid, and haploid it contains 23 chromosomes. And unlike mitosis, these meiosis division produces 4 different kinds of 4 daughter cells, okay, which are all identical and which may not be identical also. Okay, so mitosis produces 2 identical daughter cells, whereas meiosis produces 4 type of daughter cells. Okay, so this is a major difference between mitosis and meiosis. And children, have you ever imagined why we are not looking as like as our parents, why we are not looking exactly as like our parents? Even our siblings who were born from the same father and mother do not look alike. Why there is dissimilarities, why there is a variation occurring between the individuals of the same parent? So that is because of this process of meiosis. Okay, so let us see how this variations happens in the formation of the next generation, where we are not looking exactly same as that of our father and mother. We have some variations. So these variations occurs due to the process of meiosis. So let us see how it is happening. Okay, so here just we can see an outer look of the process of meiosis. So here you can see the nucleus, and inside the nucleus you can see the chromosomes arranged here. For example, you can say this is a paternal and this is a maternal, and one type of chromosome comes from the mother and one kind of chromosome comes from the father. So during the process of interphase, the duplication of the DNA, all the replication of DNA, all the doubling of DNA happens. So one single strand, the DNA, you know very well, DNA consists of 2 strands, and the 2 strands will be unwinding and single strand will be forming, duplicating into another strand. So out of 2 strands it will be formed as 4 strands of DNA. Okay, so 2 chromosomes, here the chromosomes have been doubled here, and here during the process of mitosis 2 identical daughter cells have been formed. Okay, so here the chromosome number is, you can see in the process of mitosis it is 46, and the chromosome number has been doubled and chromatid number has been formed as 92. So here the daughter cells have identical number of chromosomes. So this is for mitosis division. Okay, but whereas if you see if the same process happens in the gametic cells, the chromosome number will be doubled more than it contains 92. Okay, so only this to keep the number of chromosomes in the same, to maintain the constant number of chromosomes in a species, this meiosis process happens. Okay, so this depicts the picture of a mitosis, whereas it is entirely different in the case of meiosis. And here you can see this is a process of meiosis. Here only the daughter cells are exactly the same copies of the parent cell, but here you can see a major difference in the process of meiosis. And this is called a chromosome, and the chromosome have chromatids attached together by the point called kinetochore or a centromere. So centromere or kinetochore is the point of attachment of two sister chromatids. So once this is from maternal, this is from mother, and this is paternal chromosome, this is from father. And here if you see, there is exchange of segments between the parental chromosomes. So these two chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. Since they contain the same amount of DNA, it is called as homologous chromosomes. So here there is an exchange of segments between the parental and maternal and paternal chromosomes, and here you can see the changed segments. So the color differentiation depicts the exchange of segments between the chromosomes, homologous chromosomes. So this is what happening in the process of meiosis. So since there is exchange of characters between the homologous chromosomes, and from the one from the mother and one from the father, there is an exchange of segments, there is a recombination process. So due to this recombination only, the formed zygote, that is the next generation, will not be looking as similar as that of the parent and the parent. Okay, so this is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. See, in mitosis you can see the parent cells are exactly the similar, here the daughter cells are exactly as that of the parent cell. Here the daughter cells share some of the segments from the mother and from the father. So these daughter cells do not look exactly as that of the parent cell. So this is the major difference between the meiosis and mitosis. Okay, now let's get into the stages, different stages of meiosis. So you think of that, if the same mitosis process is happening in case of gametic cells also, our chromosomes number will be more than that of the normal amount. So instead of having the 46 chromosomes, we will be having 92 chromosomes. So 92 is not a constant chromosome which determines a species is human. So if we want to be a human species, our cells should contain only 46 chromosomes. So to maintain the constant number of chromosomes only, this meiosis process is happening in the gametic cells. Okay, so this meiosis is a type of heterotypic divisions, and we can see the stages of meiosis. So divides diploid into two haploid cells. Here diploid is 2n, it is divided into n number of chromosomes. So children, you can have a doubt here. So instead of 2n, it can be easily segregated into n number of chromosomes. So what makes the process to be more complicated in the meiosis? If it happens also, the chromatid number will be increasing. The chromosome may be divided, and the chromatids number will be more doubled. So to make the chromatids number also, to reduce it, this meiosis process is taking place. So here it divides it diploid into two haploid cells, and these daughter cells are different from that of the parent cell, whereas in mitosis the daughter cells are the exact copies of the parent cells, whereas in meiosis there occurs a variation between the parent cell and the daughter cell. So the daughter cells are entirely different from that of the parent cell. And here first comes the first stage of meiosis, prophase 1. So prophase 1, it takes some longer duration, and furthermore it is divided into 5 different stages: leptotin, zygotin, pacotin, diplotin, and diakinesis. These are the various stages of meiosis. So you can see first stage, leptotin, the chromosome becomes coiled and it called long thread like bouquet stage. So lepto means it is long, and teen means it is called thread. So leptoteen, it is a long thread like. So you know, the first stage in prophase, the chromosome will be condensed, or the chromosome will be unwinds and uncoiled, and it becomes very visible under the microscope. So if we view the chromosome structure under the microscope. So normally it will be present in the form of chromatin reticulum. So during this prophase stage, it unwinds, it uncoils and becomes thin and condensed form. So you can easily observe the clear structure of chromosome during the prophase stage under the microscope. So during the first stage, leptotin stage, the chromosome is coiled and it appears as like a long thread, and since there is a bunch of chromosomes appearing as a long thread, it is appearing like a bouquet. So bouquet mari irukanaala it is called as bouquet stage. Okay, so next stage is zygoten. So in zygoten stage, the two homologous chromosomes approach together and begin to pair. So from the diagram you can very well understand. So this is the overall events happening in the process of meiosis. So first phase is interphase, and interphase is the preparatory phase. So the enzymes needed and the DNA will be duplicating, and these kind of materials needed for the events of meiosis to happen. So these changes will be taking place during the interphase. Okay, and after interphase, here you can see the chromosomes has been unwound. So instead of chromatin reticulum, it has been uncoiled and it appears as a clear structure in the prophase 1. So this is called as prophase 1. And in metaphase, you can see the two different chromatids. So as we saw in the previous picture, this chromosome is one from mother and other from the father. So this, let us take it as blue color as the maternal and red color as the paternal. Okay, so maternal, blue color is from the mother and red color is from the father. Okay, so this is mother chromosome and this is father chromosome. So you can see this one from father and one from mother, these four chromatids, so they pair each other. Okay, so here occurs a point of junction. There occurs a point of connection between the paternal and maternal chromatids. So the sister chromatids come together, come closer to each other, and here they meet at a point, and here they exchange of genetic segments, that is the process is called recombination. So some of the segments from the mother chromosome is transferred to father, and some of the segments from the father has been transferred to the mother chromosome. So exchange of segments between the father and mother chromosome happens in this stage, prophase stage. Okay, so that is called as, see, you can see the exchange of segments is happening in the prophase 1 in this picture. So this is called genetic recombination. So due to this recombination process only, the siblings, that is they are young ones, they are not looking as their parents. Okay, so this forms the variation. So the children are not looking exactly as like their father and mother, because here the genetic recombination is taking place and the exchange of segments between the father and mother. So obviously a children born to a parent, so he or she might have several characters of that of the father and some characters of that of the mother. Okay, so the characters are combining here. So this process is called as genetic recombination. So where do this exchange of segments takes place? These exchange of segments takes place a particular point called as chiasmata. So chiasmata is the point where the two homologous chromosomes join together, and that particular places only the genes will be exchanged, genetic segments will be exchange. So the genetic recombination takes place only as the point of chiasmata. So the exchange of genetic material process is called as crossing over. So crossing over takes place here. So coming back to the explanation, so we have seen the stage zygoten. So zygoten, here two homologous chromosomes approach and they begin to pair. So the pairing of chromosomes is called as synapsis. So the point of junction between the maternal and paternal chromosome is called as synaptic point. Okay, so the process is called as synapsis. Next, coming to the Packetin stage, here the chromosomes appear to be long paired twisted threads and it is called as bivalence. Okay, so bivalence, bi means two, so the two chromatids are joined together, so it is called as bivalence. So the chromatid is joined together is called as bivalent. So each bivalent has 4 chromatids, so 2 chromosomes but 4 chromatids. So bi means two chromosomes, it contains 4 chromatids, be clear on that. So that condition is called as a tetrad. So 2 chromosome, 4 chromatids, it is called as tetrad. Tetrad means 4 chromatids. So these homologous chromosomes, they remain attached to one or more points called as chiasmata, and these chromatids break at the point of chiasmata, and here the broken segments are interchanged, and the process is called as crossing over. So once crossing over is completed, there the genetic recombination process happens. The gene has been exchanged from the mother and father chromosomes. Clear, children? So packeting is a stage where the genetic recombination occurs. So the crossing over takes place at the point called as chiasmata. So chiasmata is the point of connection between the homologous chromosomes. So next, coming to the diplotin stage. Here in the diplotin stage, this bivalent splits. So 2 chromosomes with 4 chromatids, they split. So here homologous chromosomes repel and separate. So chiasmata move from the centromere to the end, terminalization. So centromere, you know very well, it's a point of attachment of 2 chromatids. Okay, so in a chromosome, the chromatids are attached together by the point called centromere. So this chiasmata will be moved away and the centromere will be moving to the end. So this is called as terminalization. Since it is moving towards the end, it is called as terminalization. And next process, diakinesis. So here the paired chromosomes, they are shortened and thickened, and here once again the nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappears. So in the mitosis, in the first stage, prophase 1, we have seen the nuclear membrane and nucleolus will be disappearing in the prophase 1. But same here also, prophase 1 itself, the nuclear membrane and nucleolus is disappearing, but before that we have different stages such as leptotin, zygotin, packetin and diplotin. So this makes the major difference between the mitosis and meiosis. So here the prophase 1, as like in mitosis, the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus will be disappearing and the spindle fibers appear. You know very well, spindle fibers are appearing from the organelle which are specialized, especially present in animal cell, which is nothing but the centrosome. So the centrosome splits up into centrioles, and the centrioles forms a microtubule like structure called spindle fibers, which then attach to the centromere of the chromosome. Okay, clear, children? Don't get confused with the centrosome and centromere. Centromere is the point of attachment of 2 chromatids, whereas centrosome is an organelle which split up into centrioles, which helps in the formation of spindle fibers, and these centrosome are especially present only in animal cells. So with this, the first stage, prophase 1 is over. So in the prophase 1, the crossing over process happens and the exchange of segments between 2 homologous chromosomes, and the genetic recombination process is getting over in the process of prophase 1. So next, come to metaphase 1. So as like mitosis, here the chromosomes lie at the equator. So equator, and it lies in a single plane, so that is called metaphasic plate. So the chromosomes come and lie at this one single plane, so that is called metaphasic plate. Here the 2 chromatids do not separate and the centromere also do not divide. So the centromere, which is the attaching point of the chromatids, do not divide and separate. So the paired chromosomes, that is the exchange segments of the chromatids, remain intact during the metaphase plate. They remain attached to a metaphasic plate. They are aligned in the center point. Okay. And anaphase 1, here the homologous chromosomes moves towards the opposite pole. So as we discussed before, the spindle fibers, the microtubules, get attached to that of the centromere, and these microtubules or spindle fibers will pull apart the homologous chromosomes, pull apart the sister chromatids towards the both the poles, both the ends of the cell. So that is called as anaphase 1. So here the homologous chromosomes move towards the opposite pole, and it becomes thin, and the structure is called as a dyad. Here the chromatids have been separated. So here in metaphase, the chromatids are intact, do not separate, whereas in anaphase the chromatids are separated and it is pulled towards the opposite poles of the cell. And coming to the telophase 1, here the haploid chromosomes. So now the chromosomes as number has been reduced into half. So the 46 chromosomes, that 23 from father and 23 from mother. So 46 chromosomes, that has been reduced into 23 chromosomes. So 2n condition has been converted into n condition. So haploid chromosomes, they become uncoiled and elongated, and once again the nuclear membrane and nucleolus reappear in telophase stage. So after that, the cytoplasmic contents has been divided equally to the two daughter cells. So the division of cytoplasmic content, division of cell. So cytome means cell, kinase means division. So the division of cytoplasmic contents into two daughter cells is called cytokinase, and here the two haploid cells are formed with n number of chromosomes. Okay, so this is the first stage of meiosis. So meiosis 1. So meiosis 1, so in the prophase 1 itself, there is first in interphase there is the duplication or the doubling of the DNA strands, doubling of the chromosomes happens, and after that in prophase 1 the crossing over process or the genetic recombination of the chromosomes happens in prophase 1, and in the metaphase they align at the single plane in the metaphase plane, and in anaphase these chromatids are separated and they are pulled towards the opposite poles of the cell, and in the telophase again it uncoils and forms the chromatin reticulum structure, and in cytokinesis there is a constriction appears in between the cell and the constriction deepens, and then the whole cell has been divided into two daughter cells. So these two daughter cells has contain n number of chromosomes. So after that the interkinesis stage, that is the gap between the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So in interkinesis once again the doubling of the chromosomes happens. So here n number of chromosomes, again it is forming 2n number of chromosome. Here n number, again it is dividing 2n number of chromosome. So again the duplication of chromosomes happen in the process of interkinesis. Then following interkinesis we have the meiosis 2, which is nothing but which is similar to that of the mitosis. Okay, so meiosis 2 is just similar to that of the mitosis. So let us see the stages involved in meiosis 2. So here the two haploid cells divided into 4 haploid cells. So already we have seen during the process of meiosis 1 we get two daughter cells with n number of chromosomes with haploid set of chromosomes. These haploid set of chromosomes will be forming into 4 haploid cells. So these daughter cells are similar to that of the parent, whereas in meiosis the daughter cells is not exactly the similar to that of the parent cell, but here in meiosis 2 the daughter cells are exactly similar to that of the parent cell. So obviously these meiosis 2 is much more similar than that of the mitosis. So next stage, prophase 2. Here also the centrioles divides into 2. So the centrioles are nothing but the division of centrosome. So the centrosome divides the centrioles into 2, and each one will be moving to the opposite poles of the cells, and then astral rays or the asters or the spindle fibers appear, and the nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappear. Like as we said in prophase 1, this nuclear membrane and nucleolus will be disappearing, and in the metaphase 2 these distal chromatids are arranged on an equatorial plane and the two chromatids separate. And anaphase 1, like before, these daughter chromatids are pulled apart by the astral fibers or the spindle fibers to the opposite poles of the cell. So these daughter chromatids are moving to the poles. Then in the telophase 2 the daughter chromatids are centered, and again the nuclear membrane and nucleolus will be reappearing, and during the process of cytokinesis 2 the contents of the cell has been equally shared by the daughter cells, and once again from two cells are formed from haploid daughter cells. So totally from one cell 2 cells are formed. So already we have 2 cells, so from the 2 daughter cells 4 haploid cells are formed. So finally from a single cell 4 haploid cells are formed, and there is also a reduction in the number of chromosomes. So there in the chromosome in mitosis the 2n number has been doubled into 4n, and it is divided into 2n and 2n. So that is a simple process. Here the 2n number of chromosomes is divided into n and n, and n is again divided into 2n and 2n, and this again 2n is again reduced to n number of chromosomes. So since 4 haploid cells are formed and the chromosome number has been reduced here, so this type of meiosis division is called as reductional division. Now I think you got the answer for first what we have discussed. This meiosis is called as a reduction division. Since the number of chromosomes has been reduced here, it is called reduction division. So from the 2n number of chromosome, 4 haploid cells, 4n chromosomes has been formed here. So the 4 haploid cells are formed at the end of meiosis. So you can see from the diagram. So before we have discussed till this interkinesis, there is a doubling of the chromosome or the duplication or the replication of the chromosomes here, and after that in prophase 2 the nuclear membrane will be disintegrating and nucleolus disintegrates, and here the centrioles are aligned to the opposite poles of the cell. So these are called centrioles. The centrioles are aligned to the poles of the cell, and after that the chromosomes are arranged on the equatorial plane, metaphasic plane, and after an anaphase 2, due to the point of attachment of the astral fibers, these chromosomes are pulled apart to the opposite poles with the help of centrioles. The centrioles pull the chromatids to the opposite poles of the cell, pull towards the ends of the cell. So after that in telophase 2, once again the nucleolus on the nuclear membrane reappears, and then this chromosomes again will be coiled form, again it will be in a coiled form, and then during the process of cytokinesis all the constituents of the cell has been divided into 4 different cells, and at last 4 haploid daughter cells are formed at the end of meiosis. So this is the overall process of meiosis. So this happens now it contains, now you can see in female cell it will be having n number of nucleus chromosomes, and in male sex cell it has n number of chromosomes. So in sperm cell it contains n chromosome and haploid chromosome, and female cell ovum it contains n number of chromosome, haploid chromosome. So once there is a fusion between the male and female cell during the process of fertilization, and n number of chromosome haploid set from the male and n number haploid set from the female, so these both join together to form a diploid condition 2n, which is the constant number of chromosomes which is maintained in the human species. So the zygote will contain 2n number of chromosomes. I think now you got an idea why this meiosis process happening in the case of gametic cells. So in the gametic cells the diploid number has been reduced into haploid number, and once the male sex cell has an haploid set and the female sex cell has an haploid set, when the both male and female cells are fusing together, so that the zygote will be having 2n number of chromosomes. That is a single cell 2n diploid condition. So the zygote will be in a normal human species and it will contain the normal amount of chromosomes present in the humans. Okay, so once again I will brief it. So in the interphase, so meiosis it divided into 2 stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So in meiosis 2 and during the process of interphase, the chromosome unwinds and uncoils, and there is a duplication of the chromosomes happens. And in the prophase 1 there are different stages like leptotin, packaging, zygotin and diplotin diakinesis. So during these stages the crossing over takes place in prophase stage. So exchange of segments between the homologous chromosomes from the father and mother, the genetic recombination process happens, and the chromosomal segments have been interchanged, genetic segments have been interchanged. And during the metaphase 1 these are aligned in the equatorial plane, and anaphase 1 these are pulled opposite to the opposite poles of the cell with the help of centrioles, and in telophase the nuclear membrane and nucleolus reappears, and in cytokinesis the whole cell contents have been divided and 2 daughter cells are formed with haploid set of chromosomes. So here it is 2n, whereas here it is n condition of chromosome. So once again during interkinesis this again uncoils and unwinds and form a clear chromosome structure, and here the duplication of chromosome happens, and once again the daughter cells will contain a number of chromosomes, and during the metaphase state it is aligned in equatorial plane, and anaphase it is pulled apart towards the opposite poles of the cell with the help of centrioles, and in telophase stage the nuclear membrane and nucleolus reappear, and in cytokinesis the contents of the cell is divided, and it is divided into 4 haploid daughter cells, and these 4 haploid daughter cells will have the n number of chromosomes. So eventually the male sex cell and the female sex cell will have the n number of chromosomes. Sperm and ovum finally will get n number of chromosome. During this process of fertilization, it results in the formation of zygote with 2n number of chromosome, diploid set of chromosome, and it contains 46 chromosomes. So this is the overall process of meiosis. So next we'll see what is the significance of mitosis. So mitosis is the equatorial division. It results in diploid daughter cells 2n. So here the equal distribution of genetic material happens, and this kind of mitosis process helps in growth, organ development, and increase in body size, and also for repair of damaged and wounded tissues. So in our skin and muscle cells, if any of our cells have been damaged, so in order to repair the worn out cells, this process of mitosis happens more often in our skin and muscle cells. Okay, whereas in the case of meiosis, the constant number of chromosomes in a given species is maintained. So you can see from the table very well how the number of chromosomes have been maintained constantly in case of meiosis. So children, look into this table carefully. Prophase 1, there is 46 chromosomes. It contains 92 chromatids. And metaphase 1 also 46 chromosomes with 92 chromatids. And anaphase 46 chromosomes, 92 chromatids. Telophase 42 chromosomes and 92 chromatids. So end of meiosis, when the cells are being separated, it contains only 23 chromosomes, whereas the chromatid number is 46. Okay. So in order to make this chromatid number also into 23 only, this meiosis process is happening again. For meiosis 2 is taking place. So this is the need of meiosis phase 2 of meiosis, because the chromatid number is not reduced here. Here we have 46 chromatids. Okay, so to reduce that into 23, again it enters into meiosis 2. So in prophase 2 we have 23 chromosomes starting from here. So at the end of meiosis we have 23 chromosomes with 46 chromatids. And metaphase 2, 23 chromosomes, 46 chromosomes. In anaphase 2 we have 46 chromosomes and 46 chromatids, and in telophase we have 46 chromosomes and 46 chromatids. And the end of meiosis, the separated cells will have 23 chromosomes with 23 chromatids. So to make this chromatid number also to get reduced, only this meiosis is taking different eventually more steps are involved in the case of meiosis to make this chromatid number also to get reduced. Okay, so I said no before, you can have a doubt why in like that of mitosis in germ cells also this 2n condition can be easily split up into n and n. So that cannot be happen because the chromatid number also should also get reduced. If that is split as n and n, if 2n condition from the sperm cell or the ovum cell is directly reduced into n number of chromosomes, so there the chromatid number will not be same. The chromatid number will be 46. So in order to get an equal number of chromosome and chromatid number only, meiosis 2 is also occurring. So at the end of meiosis we will be getting n number of chromosome, 4 types of daughter cells. So 4 daughter cells. So totally at the end of meiosis we get 4 daughter cells with n number of chromosomes. Okay, so this is the significance about meiosis. Now let us see what is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis, this occurs only in somatic cells. As I said earlier, the somatic cells are nothing but our body cells, and meiosis happens only in our reproductive cells, that is in our testes and ovary, or in the sperms and ovum only this meiosis process happens. And mitosis involved in growth and occur continuously throughout our life, but whereas meiosis involved in gamete formation only during the reproductively active stage. So at the stage of puberty, when the reproductive organs are very active, so only the reproductively active stage only this meiosis process will be taking place. And this mitosis consists of a single division, whereas meiosis consists of 2 divisions, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Here at the end of mitosis 2 diploid daughter cells are formed, whereas in meiosis 4 haploid daughter cells are formed. And in mitosis the chromosome number in the daughter cell is similar to that of the parent cell, so the 2n condition is maintained. Here in meiosis, the chromosome number in the daughter cell is just half of the parent cell. So here only haploid set of chromosome is present, whereas in mitosis the diploid set of chromosomes is present. And the daughter cells which are formed at the end of mitosis will be identical, looking similar. Okay, so the two daughter cells formed at the end of mitosis will be looking identical, and it also looking similar to that of the parent cell, whereas in meiosis the daughter cells are not similar to the parent cell and are randomly assorted. So this last point, this daughter cells are not similar to the parent cell, so this what makes the variations of the with children from that of their parents. So even though even the siblings they are born to the same parent, they do not look similar, they have variations in their structure. So that is mainly due to this meiosis process. Okay, so this is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. And children, we have come to the end of the lesson. So conclusion, from this lesson we have learned about the plant tissues and their classification and animal tissues and their classification, and we got a clear idea about the cell division and mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis is a equational division and meiosis is a reductional division. Mitosis happens in our body cells and meiosis happens in our gametic cells. Okay, so this is all about this lesson, organization of tissues. So in this lesson we have learned about these topics. So children, in the next video I'll give you the answers for book back evaluation question answers. So till that, keep watching this video, keep watching, keep listening. Thank you for watching and thank you. Have a nice day.